Hey guys, welcome back to the Sullivan family. You have to excuse all my washing in the background. This is like literally the quietest place in the house right now so that I can come and hide in. The girls are doing their work and the little one's watching a film, so I've come upstairs to quickly film this, but you have to put up with all the stuff in the background. Anyway, so this week is Children's Mental Health Week, and I think this year it's even more it's an even more important subject to be talked about, to raise awareness about. Anybody that follows me on Instagram or follows the family page on Facebook will already know that I'm kind of a massive advocate for all things mental health. I've had my own struggles over the years, and I think it's so important to help children deal with things that are going on with them, to learn, to give them the tools that they need to deal with things as they grow. There's still such a stigma surrounding anything mental health, and it's being talked about so much more now. You see it being talked about by even by Princess of Cambridge, and Princess of Cambridge? She's not the Princess of Cambridge. So yeah, it is much more talked about by celebrities, by even the Duchess of Cambridge. There is so many more people advocating all things mental health, but there is still that stigma. There is still, I think, within a lot of people that struggle with their mental health, there's still that little bit of, you feel that little bit of shame, I think it is, that you can't deal with things the same way as other people. But it's not until you start talking to people that you realise you're not the only one. So I think that's the most important thing. Since I started opening up about things that have happened, things that I've dealt with, you get so many people saying, oh, thank you for talking about that, thank you for raising that, because sorry, the kids are all over the place. I think that's why I write so much about, obviously about our life and the children and everything else and what we do as a family, but I also write quite a lot in my blog about things that we deal with on a personal level as well, because I think it's quite important. Because if I've had a bad day and I write about it, quite a lot of the time people will be like, oh, thanks for raising that, because that's how I feel as well, and it's nice to know that you're not on your own. And I think that's what I'm trying to get across, is that when you talk about things, there's that old saying, isn't it, a problem shared is a problem halved, and it's true, it really is true. So I think as far as Children's Mental Health Week goes, I think we kind of expect children to just get on with things because they're children. They don't have the same feelings and thoughts and pressures that we have because we're grown-ups. But the fact of the matter is they do have, and even more so nowadays with social media and everything else, I think they have even bigger pressures than we had growing up. Yes, we had peer pressure, but when you went home from school and you were at home, it kind of stopped there, because there wasn't that. Now they pick up their phones and it's all there in front of them. They see it on TikTok, they see it on Snapchat, they see things all the time. We're very open with our kids. We talk a lot about things. They're constantly shoving TikToks in my face, and we talk about a lot of things. I think it's quite good for them to see things online, but equally, I make sure that I tell them that there's a lot of these things aren't real. When you see lots of things, not everything you see on TikTok you can believe. Lots of people have lovely houses and live these lives, but equally it's not what everything you see isn't quite always as it seems. So it's it is, they do have pressures, and especially at the moment with everything that's going on with the pandemic and being away from their friends and being away from school, you know, I know from our children it's having a massive effect. And I think there is going to be a bit of a mental health crisis when all of this kind of, I don't know, is it going to go away? Who knows? But what's not being remembered all the time, you know, they're expected to get on with all their schoolwork and get everything done, and just as they would do if they were at school. And I know that my kids seem to be set even more work than if they were at school, my older ones. And, you know, they are feeling the pressure, they are struggling. We don't have quiet spaces for them to go off and work in. They do have to share a space. They have to have just a few hours in the afternoon because their siblings are in the same room in the morning. It's the room that we eat in. It's the room that, you know, everybody does everything in. So, and it's the only kind of place that they can go and work in relative peace. And even then it's not peaceful. So they do feel that pressure. But there are lots and lots and lots of websites that you can get information from that give you tips and tricks, that give you, just even show you what signs to look for to see if your children are struggling. I know, you know, things like headaches, stomach aches, all those sorts of things, if they're recurring, you know, that could be a sign of anxiety, of when things start to get overwhelming. So there's a website called Place to Be, who are running the Children's Mental Health Week. There's lots of videos on that one from lots of different celebrities, and there's lots of information on it. There's lots of guidance on, you know, ideas. And the theme of this year's Mental Health Week, Children's Mental Health Week, is to express yourself, express your feelings. And I think that's a really important thing that we need to make sure our children know, that that's okay to do, that it's okay to talk about things, it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to express those feelings and to help them to express those feelings. Because if you can help them to deal with their mental health now, when they're children, they'll grow up knowing that it's okay to struggle from time to time. It's okay to have these feelings. It's okay because this is how you deal with them. It's not something that, you know, you need to hide away. When I was younger, and probably in my early 20s, late teens, when I started suffering with stress and anxiety and depression, you know, you were given tablets and kind of just go and get on with it kind of thing. It wasn't something that you talked about. It was kind of frowned upon a little bit. You kind of felt like you had to keep it a secret. You didn't. And now I look back and I think, if I had been able to talk about things that were going on, or the pressures of life and everything, the reason you felt that way, then I probably would have been able to deal with things a lot better than I have done. Now I'm older, I've kind of learnt lots of things along the way that help me to deal with things. I know that if I'm having sometimes your brain just gets so overwhelmed. I get so overwhelmed with everything feels jumbled up, and I know I'm not going to get that much done that day because it's very difficult to make things to make sense. So I know on those days that I probably just have to give myself a little bit of a break and just kind of just do what I can do. And as long as everyone's fed and happy and healthy, then you're okay. I think it's just very important to we do it with our children a lot. You know, I get them to talk to me all the time. I get them to tell me when things are wrong. They know that I'm here all the time for them to listen, to talk about stuff. And I'd like to think that, having suffered with things myself, having struggled with my mental health myself, that I would know the signs to look out for, and therefore be able to help them if they need it. But, you know, it's a very difficult subject. If everybody has mental health, everybody has physical health. You know, if you break your leg, or you have the flu, or you have chickenpox, people can see that there is something wrong with you, so they are kinder towards you and they are more lenient towards you. If you are suffering with you know, about a poor mental health or an illness of some type, mental illness of some type, people tends to still be that little bit like, oh, better not talk about it, or don't really want to, is it, you know, is it just in your head? And, you know, maybe there's nothing wrong with them, because there's still that little bit of stigma about it. And the fact of the matter is, yes, you do need to be treated, you know, differently. It is the same, being mentally ill is the same as being physically ill. You know, you shouldn't treat somebody who is mentally ill any different than you treat somebody who is physically ill. It's the same thing. You wouldn't expect, you know, when people say, oh, just pick yourself up and get back on with it, you wouldn't expect, you know, to say that to somebody with a broken leg or a broken back, just pick yourself up and get back on with it. Because, you know, so why do we expect somebody who is struggling with their mental health to do the same? I just think things need to be talked about more. Things need to be, people need to talk about it more. People need to, you know, the more people talk, the more awareness is raised, and the more people know that it's okay. It's okay to feel like that sometimes. It's okay. You can get help. You can talk to people. There are places you can go. There is help you can get. You're never on your own with these feelings. You don't need to, you know, let them build and build and build into something that is unmanageable, and it becomes a monster, because that is when it becomes too much to deal with, and people end up coming to crisis point, which nothing is worth that. Nothing is worth that. There is always a way. There's always a way through. There's always a way out. There's always somebody to talk to, and it's so important to let our young people know that it's okay. It's okay to talk to people. There are so many places you can go for help. Just talk to people, you know, express how you're feeling. At the moment especially, it's hard going, and I don't think people think about young people enough in all of this. You know, they're missing out on so much. They're missing out on their friends, they're missing out on their families, they're missing out on their schoolwork. You know, they're falling behind in their education. It's a lot for them to deal with at the moment. It's a lot. We're lucky that, you know, we have such a tight family. Not all children have that, you know, and I really feel for the ones that don't have that. But even then, you know, there is still places that can help. There is still people that you can talk to. You never ever have to feel like you're on your own, and I think that's kind of what is my point, really, I guess. So yeah, anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. The sun's coming in. It's quite nice having a little break up here with my door closed, telling everybody I'm busy. So it's an important one for me. This one, it's just a quick vlog of me rambling on about stuff, but it's a really important one, and it's time that we get people talking. It's time that this doesn't get brushed under the carpet anymore. It's time that if everybody just raises a little bit more awareness, then we can help people so much, and it's even more important right now to help people. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this very quick vlog, and we will be back again soon with something else. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.